Welcome back to Equal Time Soccer, to another edition of the Wrap Up. I am Mark Pavratsky. I am joined by Eli and Rami Rapp here on the Wrap Up again. Hey, how you doing, guys?
We're doing good. Having a good
Immediately
little
after
day.
immediately after practice, hope you got to do the whatever wind down exercises you need to do. Appreciate you still joining. There was a little bit of like a weather delay with the practice this morning. We're gonna get into some of the playoff talk, but I wanted to start because last week was 4th of July. Of course, this has become your second home, but you're away from most of your family and everything. What would you typically do growing up on 4th of July? Were you always too busy going to like a soccer tournament, or was it parades, fireworks? What'd you guys get up to?
I do think it depended on the year. Sometimes with soccer, but our cousins, there's some lakes in Arkansas, so we would always go up to our cousin's lake house and be on the lake when we were able.
Mm. Sounds like Ozark. No, yeah, that's okay.
Honestly, my favorite 4th of July, we actually spent in France, which I thought was kind of
I forgot
funny
about that.
because we were in France for the 2019 Women's World Cup. We were there over the 4th, and the people we were with, the French people, they threw us like a 4th of July party on the lake, or like I think it was a river, and it was actually really fun. And it might be my favorite 4th of July, which I think
I
is
wonder. You wonder. We don't have to get too serious, but I don't know if we would get a parade thrown for us now if we were abroad for 4th of July.
Probably not.
What a wonder! But that's a wonder. You get to have that memory of Europeans being like, you know what? Yeah, maybe they also were taking sympathy, but that is really fun. I mean, the fact that it's during the World Cup there that you would get it. Did you guys just go?
Sorry, ahead. I honestly think they wanted American like business coming for the World Cup.
Well, yeah.
Genuinely, that might be
because we travel well. Well, we're almost always the biggest traveling fan group. So
that makes sense. There was a lot of us there.
There you go. Yeah, and then they got to talk about it afterwards, but they still got together. Hey, that's how it works. I love that. Did you guys just go purely to watch, or was it like it wasn't coincidence that you were there during the World Cup, right?
No, we went to both semifinals and the final, and our grandparents actually live in Bordeaux, France, so it kind of worked out. We hadn't visited them before, so we went and visited them and went to both games, or 3 games. And
were they great grandparents, or just like your parents' parents? Like one of them lives in France.
Yeah, just my dad's. It's my dad's dad and his wife live in France, so we were like, perfect time to visit them.
Semifinal and final. Oh my!
That was That was the semifinal against England. Eli and I watched the clip of that actually the other day, like the highlights. That game was insane.
Mm-hmm.
Watching it live was crazy.
I mean, it was probably in the big like PSG stadium, right? So it's huge, right? Like, were you anywhere close? Like, how were your seats when you were watching those games?
We were. Oh, they were in.
It was in Lyon, which is still a stadium.
I think it was
still 60, big, like 50,000 or 60 or something.
Yeah, I think it was 60, and it was sold out. It was insane.
It felt like a home game.
We were off to the side of one of the goals, so it was actually a pretty good view. And we were kind of higher. We weren't too high up, so we actually had a great view.
Yeah.
It was. And we got to see the trophy ceremony in the final, which is awesome.
Wow, that's really cool. Well, that's a pretty good 4th of July to be there. Yeah, for it. Like during that like set of memories. I don't remember now. I'm trying to remember where I watched that one. I probably was in Duluth, so I might have watched it at like Hoops Brewing. I think it might have been the brewery.
Not a bad spot
for them. I feel like God, maybe my mom was up there. And so what did you get up to? Obviously you played on the day, like the middle of the day. By the way, we made it a part of the middle of our day. We did some family stuff. We were sweating outside, but came in to watch the game as we ate on the 4th of July, that is. What did you guys do? Did you do anything in terms of like, then you hung out for the weekend, right, in Pittsburgh? So did you do any team like 4th of July type stuff, or what did you get up to?
There was a men's game later that night in the same field, and so we were able to go and watch them. And Pittsburgh did a pretty good fireworks show after the game. It was like 30 minutes, so we were kind of able to do that after.
The Riverhounds, it's like a USL championship team, so they're like pretty high level. They played against a New Mexico, I think.
Yeah, somewhere.
And so Aurora got us this cool little I don't know, it's not a box, but it's like this little thing on the side, and we sat up there and we watched the game, and then we watched the fireworks. This is right on the river, and so they did a huge like show on the river.
Yeah,
it was awesome.
I mean, the view from the stadium looked gorgeous. Where Matt was posting some stuff from Equal Time, but then it's a stadium I was aware of before, just because for a certain amount of time, like at the time it was built, there weren't that many soccer specific stadiums. Even MLS wasn't the way it is now. So like it was cool that there was like a cool little stadium by the river. And I always remember like the owner of the team played on it for a while. It's like a tech guy, and I was like, that's kind of cool. But I did want to ask you guys, because we only get a little bit of the view from the broadcast about the stadium. It's a little smaller, than Aurora's. Obviously, it doesn't have the whole huge Vikings complex around it. But a really cool stadium. What were your impressions of that? And had you, where does it rank in like the stadiums you've played in, Eli?
I was just about to say it was one of the coolest, just because there was the river, and then there was the Pittsburgh, I guess, skyscrapers. Across the river with a bridge, which I guess Pittsburgh is known for having a lot of bridges. So I thought it was a very pretty background for the stadium.
Yeah,
and it's pretty nice, like where we were, our locker room, and the area we were able to be at. So overall, I thought the stadium was pretty great.
Mm-hmm. Rami, do you have any impressions or thoughts on it?
Yeah, I thought it was probably the best one we've played at that's not ours. I mean, TCO beats everyone. Like, the grass area of TCO is awesome. I like that it's, you can sit everywhere and you can also stand. I just think nothing beats TCO. But this was honestly a good second. Like, it was a cool stadium. The river was really cool. I wish TCO had something like that in the background. But
they got a pond. You got
a little pond,
and they had a train go by at one point. And then when it did its little honk or whistle or whatever, all of the fans cheered. So that was kind of cool.
I like that stuff too. It makes it just, there's an urban character to having stuff like that, like to have the train going by, and the sky. I mean, you on the broadcast you only got little bits of the skyline view, but I've known from seeing like how just spectacular that is. I couldn't imagine. Yeah, really cool. And I know Matt was saying it's pretty cool area to hang around too, like in terms of afterwards. So what did you were there for a couple of days. I'm sure you trained, right? Like in the days before, but I guess you didn't have that much of a break. You probably just kind of recovered on Saturday. Did you do anything in terms of like team outings aside from watching that men's game after? Like, what'd you get up to, on Saturday when you had downtime?
We just mostly watched the Euros, and what else? I watched a bunch of Wimbledon matches.
Oh yeah.
We didn't really go do anything as a team. I feel like just because we were all just resting. I just watched a lot of sports. There's a lot of sports going on right now, so just been watching those.
The team gives us the freedom to kind of do what we want on those days. So if you wanted to stay at the hotel, some people had families, so they were able to go and be with family, and I guess do some fun things in Pittsburgh. So it's kind of up to us, and we were just chilling out, watching a bunch of sports, like Rami said, which was nice, and just preparing for the next game.
Yeah.
But no official team thing.
Yeah. And by the way, I'll tell you. I mean, I was with family on Friday, so I wasn't watching it, with any other fans except my family as diehard fans. And my siblings and mom, go to every game. But on Sunday, I was at the Blackhart, one of our sponsors. I'll shout out later, and it was so hyped. The U.S. men were going on at the same time, but guess what, dude? Aurora was on the main screen.
I saw that video you guys put, or I think it was you guys. It was awesome. It was packed there.
Yeah. Just dude, no, it's really good. And even when it was on Sunday, it was a streaming game, so we always get a bit more people who don't want to deal with that, or but even when it was broadcast, like on TV, everyone could have watched at home, on Friday on like antenna or whatever. It was way more packed even that day. So people are hype, and I'm excited because I won't really get to watch the game on Saturday, but you guys are going to make me money for sure with fans coming into, and I'll hopefully, I think it actually should slow down to where actually the game is at a good enough time that all the United fans will have left, and I'll just be like entering tips and watching the game. So hopefully I can, in the second half, I can watch all of it. So
okay, that's good.
Is there also a United game on Saturday?
There is, yeah. But yeah, as it's happened before. Like both teams have played on like a Friday night or like a Saturday night, and Aurora's sold out. Like people would get, kind of worried, and it's like, it doesn't matter. There's enough different fans and enough total fans that it just, it always works out.
Minnesota needs two wins then.
I guess so. Yeah, we got it. Yeah, maybe one's more important to me than the other.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
I
me
think
too.
ours is definitely more
we'll take,
important.
United can get in the playoffs easily. There's 10 teams make it. I did want to ask you guys just about the next round, and maybe just your thought process, because it's the same, like kind of when you're in college and you play a lot of the same teams, and then all of a sudden, if you like make the tournament, you have to prepare for a team you've never met, before, and it's a short turnaround. Like this, you actually happen to have kind of we have a week in terms of a playoff runway. But I wonder, not about like how are you scouting this team, but I wonder for you personally, like how do you go through the process of becoming familiar, and like how familiar do you need to be with them versus I'm sure you're focusing a lot on just what you do, right? But like, so Rami, maybe you start like when you're trying to get to know a team, does it start with like a team talk, and then, or like is it you asking a player you knew who played them, or like someone who's on the team? Like how do you mentally process getting to know kind of a new opponent in a short amount of time like that?
For me, I think once we figured out we were playing them, I watched their last game against, I think it was Corktown. Stockton or something like that. Whoever they played last, I watched their game. Just try to get like a sense of, their lineup, what they do, their tendencies, and then we go to practice. So we have some scout and we talk about it as a team. And yeah, just for me, I didn't want to harp on them too much. It's more about what we do, but I also like watching film just to know who their key players are, what they like to do. Mm-hmm. What about you?
I mean, it's kind of the same. You just do your best to figure out how you want to play against them. I take it as I like to prioritize myself over another team, so I don't want to change entirely how I'm going to play based on another team. Like I want to know what they're going to do, but I don't want it to affect me so much that I completely alter what I'm doing on the field. So I learn what I can, but still try to focus on the things I'm good at.
And how much of it is, I mean, like you're watching the tape to get trends and you're watching to see, formations and things like that, and who stands out. But then how much of it do you end up drifting into thinking, like if you're playing outside back or something, Eli, when you played outside back, or like, Rami, you've played, across different places, like, holding in the mid, are you like watching the 10 because you're going to have to track her, or Eli, like do you find yourself being like, oh, actually I'm watching the left winger because I'm going to be matched up with her more often than not?
Yeah, I'd say I typically will focus on the player that I'll be matched up with more. I will say I think for a sport like soccer, film is important, but for me, like I said, I don't want to overdo it in the sense of it. Like I said, affects how I'm gonna play. So I want to know the general idea. Like a lot of times, if I'm outside back, I want to know how quick the player is, if they're the type to show in or like check to the ball, try to make runs in behind. Like obviously learn what foot they are, but I don't want to overdo it and like try to where I change how I'm going to play. So I do focus a lot on my one player, but I still try to focus on myself a bit more.
Mm-hmm. How about you, Rami? Is that something? Do you focus in on players like that, or is it kind of depend on what role you're playing on the team too?
I feel like it kind of depends. I feel like I don't want to go down the rabbit hole of like focusing on another player and if they're good or whatever, but just more of the overall midfield. Like, what do they like to do? What do they have 2 6s, 2 10s? Do they go long? That kind of thing. And then more, what am I going to do to stop that? Yeah, I say similar to Eli. Yeah. It's more about us than them, but you don't want to go in there blind. I hate when teams are like, we never scout. Right. Like, well, you got to know something about the other team.
Right. Well, what if a girl never goes to her left? What if a girl always, what if they never?
You want to know that minute one.
You want to know some stuff. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. All right, honorary raps. It's time for honorary raps, baby.
I already got one.
What do you do?
I'm gonna repeat the ones from the first 2 weeks. So you have a little bit of time to think if you want to think. And by the way, like we said last time, we kind of, we haven't been really strict. I'm leaving it kind of to you, but I do want to encourage. It could be anyone too. It'd be like, you're watching Love Island, Rami, and you're like, you know what? That's the values of a rap sister right there.
Okay.
It's up to you, but so I'll repeat the ones that we had from the first 2 weeks. So for Kat's picks, the first week, Natalie Tavana, week 2, Danielle the trainer. Shout out, I liked that. We liked getting the shout out to the staff because there's a lot of staff who make stuff happen for y'all. Eli the first week said Cooney. I mean, obviously banging goals, and Ava Westland. I think Eli's got it. She's got a goal bias on just the scorers, but hey, this is what we do. We report goals all the time. And then Rami first week supported the other sisters. A very RAPP thing to do to support their choices. And then week 2, she said Asa. And by the way, because I got to repeat it, said Asa's one of the best people she's ever met. People, not
I stand by that.
Asa, take that to the bank. Clip that, Asa, and keep it on your phone, and you pull it up when you make that your alarm clock. So Eli, you said you already have someone. Who's your honorary RAPP sister?
So we have a mental, 2 volunteer mental skills, mental performance people that drive pretty far to come and watch our trainings and support us. One of them is named Jared. I've been doing one-on-one sessions with him every so often. So Jared is honorary RAPP this week, just for all of his help and support for me and our team throughout this entire season at Aurora.
We love it. Thank you, Jared. Shout out to you. Congrats on being a triplet today.
Heck yeah.
All right. Rami, how about you?
My honorary RAPP this week is also another staff member. It's Cody. He's our goalkeeper coach. And Cody and Addie. Addie is his daughter. She's I think she's about to be 2.
So cute.
I love her. She is maybe one of the cutest children I've ever seen.
For real.
Apparently she can point out a picture and say my name, so I'm really excited.
They're bonded for life, it seems like.
Blessed. Well, it's the thing is, when a toddler likes you, it's like if you're meeting a really cute puppy and it doesn't like other people but likes you. There's an ego boost when
I feel like, oh my gosh, I'm so honored. I don't know, not every kid likes me, so it's it warms my heart.
Okay, so Cody, clip this. You might have to do it for him. Clip this, and you can play that for Addie on the side. That's cute. But Cody Cropper, of course. Yeah, he's one of the most successful Minnesota men to play the pro game. I mean, the dude played.
He's pretty good.
Over 100 games, maybe 150 games. Both in England and then in the U.S. So shout out, cool to have him around.
He's awesome. I mean, him. Shout out to his daughter Addie, but also shout out to him. Every time we get a shutout, he brings us donuts. We've had a lot of shutouts, so it's been great.
What else? Because he's fairly new to coaching. I mean, I think he's probably done a little lead up to this, but he was playing, pretty recently, and so he is relatively new to this. Even though I'm sure he must have been, working on those skills as he went. But what you guys aren't keepers, but you're around him and you're shouting him out. What makes him a good coach, or maybe unique as a coach?
I'd say he's really good at tailoring his coaching to every player. Like me specifically, I think he's been able to figure out what kind of makes me tick as a player, and the kind of both criticism and positive reinforcement that I need to get the best out of me. I think he's been a great source of I can gain confidence from talking to him, and I think he's just really good at taking each individual player and making them better. And I've improved so much, I think, from his words of wisdom, because he's not just with the goalkeepers. He comes into our session, and I really feel like he's helped me play the best I've played in a while. So, he's just encouraged me, and I really appreciate that.
Really cool. I mean, also, if a keeper is, has the principles to be a decent coach, I mean, they should be able to take a lot from, I played a little bit of keeper, but it's you are seeing the game if you're doing it well. So, I mean, you should be able to help people understand what you've seen from that. And also, I mean, God, just helping you shoot, telling you what, I would think he'd be good at coaching people on how to shoot on keepers, because, he'll stop it.
Right. He knows what you shouldn't do to get it saved.
Yeah. I could be the dummy in that exercise for sure. I could be the one helping to show. Yeah. One thing I wanted to ask, we asked a little bit about y'all transferring and experiences, playing with each other and moving, living separately, but I didn't ask this specific, and this came from Matt when I was asking him for suggestions. One of the things you've had to do is just live with new roommates. In the summer, you get new roommates when you're at college, and sometimes it's your sister, sometimes it's not. What are your biggest do's and don'ts for being a good roommate? Give me like you could as many as you need to reference from each. But yeah, whoever has the idea first. But I'm curious because you live with people for a short time too, where it's a little easier in the summer. But also, if you're making it for the whole year, those patterns are gonna become apparent.
True. I feel so lucky. I transferred my sophomore year, and I'm gonna have new roommates this year because my 3 roommates graduated. But for 2 years, I had like my 3 best friends, and one of my roommates, biggest do of all time, she made me dinner every single night.
That's not even an expectation. That's over the top. That's over
the top. But I was like, that is one way. I was like, we would go to the store on Sundays, pick our meals out. We'd all split the cost, and she loved to cook, so she would just cook extra, and she would cook us dinner every single night. It was incredible.
Wow. Okay. So let's get, if you don't have to say their name if you don't want to put them on blast. It's a positive blast. Feel free to shout them out because that's a boss roommate, dude.
She like literally, I would have
What's her name, Rami? We gotta shout her out.
Viv Carr. She went to Coastal. She's now in law school back in Seattle, but.
And she was doing law school homework and cooking dinner.
She was applying for law school and then would take her break and cook. But she loved to cook. And I would go to lab at like 9. I finished at 9 p.m. I would come home. It would be like in a little Tupperware in the corner of the fridge waiting for me.
And Rami did nothing for her.
I did the dishes.
It's like a Mad Men situation. It's like a Mad Men situation. You're Don Draper, Rami. I need to ask a question though about this cooking. Did anyone do the dishes for her ever?
I did. My 3 of the roommates and I would switch off doing the dishes, and we would all go to the store. And she was like, "I'm gonna make the food for myself, so I might as well just make more."
I, as someone who tries to cook for one, I do get it. Like cooking for one is annoying. You're like, I'm making pasta. Here's a handful of, it is.
But I recognized, I was like and then on my birthday, because she was graduating, she made me a cookbook of all her recipes so that I could make them for myself this year.
I'm jealous of her roommates.
What is going on here?
She is the best roommate I've ever had.
This turned out to be a good question. My God, what
that's to do. If you want to get in your roommate's good graces, make them dinner every night.
I mean, I just kind of want to just ask for that cookbook.
I'll send it out. Anyone hit me up, I'll send it. It's some good recipes.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. Eli, do you have any do's or don'ts that come to mind for you? And I guess your roommates were really mediocre compared to that. Everyone was. I've never been that good of a roommate.
I haven't. To be fair, I haven't either. I've just received it.
Yeah, of course.
I say don't. Gosh, I do know that there were some roommates I had where they just wouldn't clean, and so I was like,
right.
I don't want to always be the one cleaning. Come on, help me out here.
Yeah.
So being dirty is just not nice. So I guess a don't is don't not pick up after yourself.
Yeah. That was hard in college to live with your buds and have to be like, hey man, I'm gonna say this because it's not that weird, but at one point, like when we're dealing with trying to do dishes in our place, it was very, very messy, and we'd get it cleaned like once in a while, but Matt just took away, like we had a lot of silverware, like way too much, right? Like because we just had a thrift store, like too much stuff, and he took it away, so there was only so much. So like we had to do dishes.
Oh, you would run out of.
Drastic. It was a universal decision, and it was drastic. But I got it. Yeah, I was like, hey man,
you got to do what you got to do.
People hate dishes. I think it's so therapeutic. I love doing them. I'll just sit there.
I do them at work, but yeah, I'm looking at some in my sink right now. But yeah, I don't mind doing them in a bigger kitchen. Yeah, in the tiny house less so. All right, I love that though. Yeah, so brand new roommates, we'll see. So now we'll have when we do another show, maybe we'll have some more do's and don'ts from Rami having found new roommates. Well, and Eli, you're having new ones. You're moving that, right?
They already sound like they'll be the type to pick up after themselves.
And is it? Are you moving into a house or what's the setup you're moving into?
It is a house. There's 4 of us in a little house thing.
Cool.
Right off campus.
Nice. Awesome. Yeah, you guys, you're going to be meeting those new friends in person. Quick shout out to our sponsors. Want to shout out, of course, first and foremost, Pentz Homes, longtime sponsor of Equal Time. They are part of what makes this happen. When you see Matt flying to Pittsburgh like a crazy dude, that's part of the reason, because Pentz Homes supports us. So shout out. They've helped friends and family of mine move into homes. I trust them with all those decisions. So if you have questions or want me to connect you to Nate or Lydia or one of the people there, I will. I'm not a person who's buying a house, but I have lots of friends with little families, and they're buying new house all the time. And I'm always happy to refer Pentz Homes. Shout out to the Blackhart Bar as well, where I, of course, work. I love it. I will see fans of these RAPP sisters on Saturday. Absolutely. Happy fans who hopefully are watching this right now. Shout out to the Blackhart for supporting us. And shout out to a bar of their own, which is, of course, Minnesota's only women's sports focused bar, one of the very few in our country, and so we love them. Glad they're supporting us, and happy to support them. You can see an equal time jersey on their wall. One of the proudest moments of my life. I love it. Happy to be recognized. Yeah, so shout out to a bar of their own. All right, now we got to catch up on what the Rapps are watching. I was happy to get some good convo to this last time when we did a show. And also some overlap. I already mentioned one of them, Rami. What's going on in Love Island, baby?
Love Island has gone crazy.
No.
It's crazy. Who would have thought? The drama is wild. I mean, I still think this season's not as good as last season. Last season, best season, hands down. But this one's been pretty good.
Best, yeah. Who are you? Do you end up with people? I mean, because of course the fun is the chaos. But do you have some rooting interest? Like, who are you hoping?
There's one couple that just got together, who everyone's been like silent.
Say the names, Ram. Say the names. We got
Nick and Alandria. Everybody's been like low key rooting for them on TikTok, and they were just friends. They finally got together, and I'm really excited about that. But the show's almost over, so I was like, "You gotta hurry this up." But
about time. I confess, I have seen it, but I have not watched it in a long time. But I very familiar with the idea. But yeah, it's the hope is that like you find your love by the end, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people nowadays, unfortunately, go on there to get famous. So it's less love-based and more just like, I like it for the drama. Yeah. I know they're not really going to find love, and that's okay.
Then they could end up, I mean, they probably just want to end up on Traders eventually, right?
Probably.
And like, yeah, they could run it, or it's good. Yeah, it's
but
good.
3 of the couples from last year are still together, so I was like, okay, there's hope. There's hope.
Really? Wow, at least keeping it promoted. At least, yeah, good for them. Like, at least keeping the bit going.
That's more than like The Bachelor. I don't think people really stay together on that show either. So
a while, but yeah, it's more so they can also get on Traders, I think.
But I know how bad the quality it is. I still love it. Oh, it's like the books you read on the beach, and you're like, they're bad, but you just gotta read them.
It's an airport romance novel that like my dad would buy like a $3 spy book, at the airport or something. And be like, man, there we go.
Not for me. That stuff's not for me.
Well, Eli, you're serious. You're watching The Pit. You're watching ER. How's it going in The Pit? I still haven't tried The Pit.
We finished
so I went back and I had finished it, and then I rewatched it with Rami because I recommended it to her. And she's like, okay, watch it with me. So just rewatched that with her, actually. So
is it like 10 episodes or something? Or
it was 15, but I mean, they go by quick because it's such a good show. You're like, I gotta watch another. You can't just watch one.
Do you like the main character the most, or do you like one of the other?
I know
the dude, but who do you like?
I like one of the side characters the best, Samira? But I do think Noah Wiley's character is he's pretty good. He's a pretty good actor, though. He knows how to play a doctor well.
She showed me the ER.
He's done it. He has done it.
He looks so much different than he did in ER.
He's a bit older. I mean,
yeah, significantly. When ER was first on, I was 8. So
yeah, yes. I don't even know when the first season came out, but
oh man, like 96, bro.
Okay, yeah, we were not born.
Yeah, Clooney. That's what Clooney got big on, dude. That was the Caesar. It didn't look good even on him. He still looked good, but the hair did not.
It's hard to pull off that haircut, even for someone like him.
Stamos came in after Full House. What are we doing talking about?
It was really good. You should watch it. I really recommend.
I mean, I could get into it. I used to work for the nurses union, so I would visit ERs and round, and I felt so like I was in the way and out of place. Because I just had to walk in and go talk to people, and I'm like, I think they have more important stuff, but they are unshaken. I can confirm. They did not give a heck. They did not give a shit what was going on. I love that. Are you Rami? You're still watching The Blacklist?
I am. I just finished season 3. Crazy.
There's years and years of that.
I'm only on season 4, and there's 10 seasons. I don't know if I'll finish it, but I mean, it just got I don't want to spoil it, but there was like
you can spoil the blacklist.
For a minute.
One of the main people that we thought was dead is actually not dead, but now she might be dead. So there's, a lot has happened, and we found out she had a secret dad. We did,
Oh my gosh, I was about to say she probably has a secret evil twin or something.
I knew something was happening. I said, don't just kill the main character. This is
what, Rami, the show's sounding good. I think it might take off. I think it might succeed.
I think it might take off.
Same with Lost. I think it might take off. Yeah.
Gosh.
I love that. Oh my god. Do you guys watch stuff more like when you're traveling like that on a weekend? Because like when you have like Saturday as a chill day, do you end up like just hunkering down as opposed to like days where you might be doing mental health stuff and training at home and everything?
Yeah, on an away trip, I will definitely end up watching stuff in our downtime because we have like short chunks.
And especially and now you don't like have home. It's like you aren't doing homework on the away trip, so it's like yeah. So here now a couple questions about growing up, because I never asked you guys this. Did you ever? I wouldn't think of a reason why you would, but like when you were younger, did you ever play on separate teams for any reason? Like club or school?
I can't recall ever being on.
They tried to like put us on different teams when we were really young. My parents were like, we are not coming to two different games. They're like,
well, that's the thing too, because your parents would be like, well, even if there's a reason, you'd be like, well, yeah.
Like it's so inconvenient. Like, why would you put them on different teams?
So we're the same year, so there would be no year reason to separate.
I think college was the first time ever.
Yeah. I don't know if it was ever just like there were multiple teams at the same club, going to the same, you know what I mean, or something. I don't know how big of a operation.
Maybe at some point teams tried, like one of us on a different team or something like that, but we were like,
at least the chemistry
we're going to drive together.
Yeah, it's like the chemistry is the one inherent benefit.
I feel like that's something you got to take advantage of.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. We did. It would. I don't know that I could ever make a playoff of it, but people would mix Matt and I up playing basketball and soccer. I don't know that it ever helped. I mean, it helped me. I don't know that I took advantage of it, but they would back in the day. Yeah. Do you remember the first time you traveled to play a game of soccer? Do you know what I mean? Like that wasn't just like 5 years old. Like you drive into Denver. You know what I mean? Like, do you remember?
Are you talking about us specifically driving or just our parents driving?
No, I mean like the first time you went to a travel, like you're like 8 and the first time you like went to a track, you know what I mean?
I don't know the first time because since we grew up in Arkansas, there wasn't a lot of good soccer in our area. So from a very, very young age, we had to start traveling to go and play better teams because
we spent a lot of time in Memphis,
Texas.
How far is Memphis?
Memphis is like 3 hours from Little Rock. So we would drive over. We went over to the soccer complex all the time.
Were you like, was that when you were like 9 or 10, or like was it even younger it wasn't younger than that, was it? Were you guys that hardcore?
I'm honestly not sure, but I mean, we started pretty young, going and driving to tournaments.
Yeah.
Like just those week tournaments where you play on Friday, Saturday, and then maybe 2 on Sunday, something like that.
Probably go to like St. Louis or like Kansas City.
Things like that.
St. Louis is a couple hours from Little Rock. Those are fun though. I mean,
we are closer to a lot of other places than like. I mean, I was driving 3 hours to get to nowhere. So yeah, you are. You're kind of in a. Even though Arkansas is not the best, you actually can connect to
a lot of places.
To a lot of St. Louis has a lot of soccer going on.
Yeah, Dallas is only like I think it's like a 4 or 5 hour drive, which is not bad.
Yeah, in Arkansas, it's close to everything, honestly. What is when you look back on like youth soccer, so either like high school or club, like growing up, what is your favorite like achievement, whether it be like if it was a crazy goal you scored or like a game that you were the best player, or is like a season where you had a really good season? And it could be a team-based thing too. But like what, like, I don't know what it would be for me. I don't know that many, but like if you thought to one thing, does anything come to mind? Like a goal or a play or like.
I think would be maybe my senior season of high school soccer. I think that had the most goals I've ever had. I think I had like 11 or 12, and that was probably the most goals I think I'd ever had because I think in club I didn't keep track, and then high school they do the stats, and we ended up making it I think to the quarterfinals that year, and then I don't know I had like 10 assists or something, and I remember being like, this is like the best stats I've ever had, and I was like, that's pretty cool. So I'd probably say that's one of my cooler. And then we made it to a state championship twice. So that was pretty cool. Unfortunately, we did not win, but
yeah.
What do you think?
Learning lessons, yeah. Eli,
state championships were rough. Those felt like the end of the world at the time.
Oh yeah,
we were devastated.
It is kind of better to lose in the quarterfinal or something than in the final sometime. In terms of mental, in the lasting.
Making it all the way and then losing was rough.
I mean, twice too, man.
Freshman and junior year,
and then a couple of years after, our team, Evergreen High School, has now won 2 since we left.
Building blocks, baby. Those are the
right.
Seriously, our coach had lost like 3 or 4 state championships, and we're like, it's just not going to happen for him. And now he's won 2, so we're happy for him.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, it is true. They have to learn. Like, younger players learned how to win, and also like learned from the failure, like how good. It's like, you can claim a little credit. Yeah, give him a medal. Give him a little. Yeah, no.
I'm like, it was important to him to get one. So
totally.
I'm glad he did.
Well, yeah, that's awesome. You guys, yeah, you can. You get to find your other trophy on your own. That's great.
Well,
were there years? I remember, like, were there times in different periods of like growing up where there were feelings of like one of you was better than the other, and then not, or something like, just in terms of like you happen to develop, in a different way, your game develops in a different way. I'm curious if there was ever like any specific eras like that where you're like, oh man, I feel like there were different times where I'm like, man, I think Matt feels like a little faster than me or something. Yeah, even though I don't know if it's true.
I think there was a period where when we were younger, like what do you think? Like, there was definitely a period where I was the best. I remember my dad telling me that. And then I remember my sisters caught up, and then they got really athletic because, like, I'm the smallest of the 3 of us. So I remember I was, like, most technical, and then they caught up athletically. And I remember being so devastated. I was like, because Eli took off by me in height. Like, I was one of those things where I was the tallest for, like, a year. And I was like, oh, this is the best ever. My mom was like, just you wait. Like, she knew if you grow first, you're gonna plateau, and then Eli took off. Not that
I just want to clarify. I think technically we're all pretty good.
If you ask Dad, there was one year where he was like, I was the best, and then.
But she's playing it down. She's like, oh, they caught up athletically. We caught up technically too. Come on.
Whatever.
I like. Eli did say, you're going to have to watch. I don't like rewatching, although I have to realize what questions I asked you to not double up. But Rami, you could rewatch, because when you were giving that, Eli was just looking forward and kind of giving a subtle reaction as you went. Like, it's like, okay.
I will admit, she's not wrong. There was a time, but there was also, what I recall is that us 2 were a lot better than Rami. And then she got embarrassed and worked really hard and then got better than us. And then it kind of evened out at some point. This definitely is what happened.
This sounds like you're changing the story.
No,
I'm opening. This is the thing when we do so much sister content.
I'm gonna text my parents right after this.
You're all
and we'll let you know, and it will be that what I just said is the truth.
Oh God, I love it. Well, we gotta do another episode. I mean, look, the thing is, I mean, what's most fun is when you're all playing at the same time. That's what I feel like. And I will say, shout out to Revanchilette, because I'm pretty sure when I was at one of the games this year, they knew none of you were on the field and did the count, but knew they wouldn't get to say anything. They're like, let's count the Rapp sisters, and just let it hang there because it is.
That's funny. I don't recall that. Dang it.
Commitment to the bit. Yeah. Shout out to Andy Call, who's also in my closed loop world one of the best customers at the Blackhart. He came up with that, counting the Rapp triplets. Like,
I love that chant. I think it's great. My mom loves it.
It's fun, man. People, I bet she does. She better, yeah. If she doesn't, then we have to cut it. Yeah. So.
Lisa Rapp approved.
I love that. All right, now we're gonna wrap it up by doing and it's more. I mean, you guys can include. By the way, we don't get to get Kat's opinion on this, but I want to ask different sports and activities which sister's the best, or which one likes it. Maybe it's just who likes it the most. Like like. A certain sport, maybe you don't care about basketball, right? But so like, who is either the best or who's most into it, or who would you pick if you had to like pick a Rapp triplet to compete in this? Okay. And so you can still pick Kat if you want. But yeah, okay. First off, I forget if I've asked you guys this. Basketball.
Definitely Catherine. Definitely.
You think so?
She's good at shooting. She's good at shooting.
She'd be like, she would be that person in the corner who just catches it and hits a 3.
At our home in Colorado, we have like one of those, what is it, nets you have just in a, why can't I remember
it's like
the word?
In a water.
Where you park your car.
In a driveway?
Driveway, yes.
I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know why I couldn't think of that, but yeah, we have one of those, and she goes out there all the time and shoots. She's much better at shooting than Rami and I.
So she likes it more than you got. Like,
yeah, well, she follows the NBA a bit more than Rami and I'd say for sure.
She's a sharpshooter.
I know some basics.
She's like Klay Thompson, you know. She's gonna catch and shoot.
Like Klay Thompson, high praise. she's pretty good. She's just like the third best 3-point shooter of all time.
Yeah, just
but she's formed up. Huh?
Good thing she picked soccer, you know. Good thing for the WNBA.
Okay, all right. Well, shout out to Kat's the basketballer. What about ping pong?
Ping pong, definitely me.
Racket sports are Rami's thing.
I'm a pretty average at ping pong, and I love ping pong.
Okay.
My dad and I used to play all the time.
Okay. Like, and what did that split early? Like that just happened? Like with basketball, just it happened to be something you liked more than the sisters?
Yeah, we've always had since I think we've always had a table in our house, and I've always just loved playing, and my dad and I would just go play all the time. And I just am good with racket sports, so I'd say and I just like playing more.
So tennis too? You like playing tennis?
Yeah, I love tennis.
See, I think I like tennis just as much. I'm just a lot worse.
Yeah.
But like this.
Come on, Eli, you got the reach on her. You should be able to cover your.
She's got technique. She can put it in the corner better than me.
It doesn't matter if you have power and all that. If I can put it on, on the sides. And to be fair, I have played more than them. Like my roommate and her boyfriend, they took me and we played tennis a bunch this semester. So I have played a lot more.
But we used to play competitive tennis, and she was better.
Oh, okay.
I'm so sad I gave it up. I really
played it for real. Yeah.
Yeah, we played competitively for 4 years. We did tournaments, went to regionals.
It was fun.
Oh, wow. But before junior high or high school, or when you were
right younger? Before high school ended, basically.
Yeah.
We kind of had to pick because they're the same season as soccer. Yeah. So we couldn't.
That's why we could never play. I never played Little League, and I wouldn't have cared about playing Little League. But it was the same time as summer soccer, so I'm good. Yeah, all right. Well, ping pong. All right. How about if there's plenty of Minnesotans who've done this, by the way, but women who become kickers in American football, who'd be the most likely to be a football kicker?
Definitely not me. We did. We tried kicking when I was at school, at Coastal. We did it after a practice. I'm horrible at it. So definitely not me.
Honestly, I think it would be me just because I'm pretty sure I could kick the ball further than Kat.
Yeah,
I'm a little bit more powerful than them.
Have they never set up a photo shoot of you guys doing that at TCO? That's crazy.
I'm shocked. We did a celebration of it, but no, not a real one.
Right, Minnesota Vikings, get some clips, my dude.
Yeah, give me a helmet, give me some pads. I'll wear the whole Vikings uniform and kick if they want.
I'm gonna say this to see if Matt watches this. I was a football kicker in college before Matt was, and I'm not going to give any context to that, and he's going to know I'm just gaslighting it. Matt was an actual kicker. I was on the team. I never kicked in a game. Matt actually got pretty good. He had a way stronger leg than me. They should have let me punt, but they didn't want me to punt like Aussie rules style, and I was like, I could have punted the hell out of the ball. Who knows? I was scared of getting hit, though. Once you actually practice, you're like, I'd been hit as a junior high kid. I didn't really want to get hit by
you're the last line of defense. So.
Big guys.
I'm a bit bigger, on you. So I understand. I'm like, I think I could take a hit better than Kat and Rami. I could probably kick the ball further. So I just think I would be a better kicker.
That can be part of it. But yeah, how about this is a little more. This is reaching from the realm of sports. Who's the best dancer, or who is the most likely to dance?
We're all bad at dancing.
You all said you're horrible at singing. Yeah,
but we're not artistically inclined family.
We can't draw.
That doesn't say anything about who wants or likes.
Okay, I feel like for me, I'm not a huge dancer, like we said, but I feel like I would be the most. I would do it the most confidently, but badly.
Yeah, no one in my family has rhythm at all.
Catherine and Rami wouldn't even try. I would try. Okay. I just would do it poorly.
If you were at a wedding, like you're saying at a wedding, they wouldn't even get out. You wouldn't.
I'll get on the dance floor at a wedding, but our team before the game does like a dance circle, and you.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
And you have to follow in the locker room, you have to follow the person before you. And I literally run out. I'm like,
Remy thinks of any excuse.
I'm like, oh, I need to use the bathroom.
I get that though.
Coach is calling my name. Like, I'm like, oh, Remy, I'm out. I'm like,
well, I get it because it's a fun thing for it to be awkward together as a team. Like that's kind of a bonding thing. But also, like you as an athlete are trying to be confident in the game, and you don't want to do something that makes you feel not confident. So, and also, by the way, it's not like it's like the perfect context to dance. You know, like the circle you're like out on the field, you're like together, you're like, this wouldn't be any other way, you know, I'd ever be dancing. You know, it's so I get it, yeah, but I appreciate that because you can tell even the people going in, you're like kind of like they think it's maybe awkward, but it's like, you know what, we're doing it together, so it makes it fun. And I mean, yeah, would I want to do it? I don't know. I don't know. How about bowling?
Bowling?
Man, we haven't been bowling in a while.
I was pretty good when I went at school.
I think I'd probably win.
I think Kat would be the worst.
Why is that? Catch and strays, Kat. We love you. Why
is Kat? To defend herself,
put one in the gutter and get upset.
Yeah, she would get upset.
Actually, that would be me too, though. I like to win, so I would get upset and then start throwing worse.
Actually, you know what? I'm actually not very good at bowling.
I think I would win.
I think it's because the last time I went, I had the bumpers up. So that's probably cheating.
Well, it's not a great sign.
No, probably not. Okay, so maybe not me then.
I do think it would be me. I do.
Okay. Maybe you led win at bowling. How about? I didn't even know. I don't think I've asked you guys this. Do you guys play video games? Whether it just be like
Remy, definitely. I can't remember the last time I played a video game.
When I'm home,
Call of Duty.
My brother has an Xbox. I love
Call of Duty.
I love the campaign modes in Call of Duty. And
what a bro! I mean, no, it's a popular game. I played it on like PlayStation. I played it a while back. The early times I have played it, but it's been a while.
I'll sit and watch Remy play before I play. Like I genuinely can't recall the last time I touched. No, wait.
FIFA's fun too.
I touched a remote. Catherine and I had a Nintendo Switch at school, and I was playing like Legend of Zelda for a while, but I was so bad because I don't know how to play video games. So I know Remy would have been better than me.
When we had a PlayStation in our locker room, one of my teammates brought it, and we would play FIFA games before all of our games, and that was fun. I would play against like Stella. We'd play as a team. And that was
I will say from playing, I haven't played FIFA that much anymore. I think because I consume it a lot at work and like doing this stuff. Like I play a little less. I play other video games, but I've played days and days, well, probably weeks and weeks and months of FIFA in my life. And it was like when you're playing it a lot, I will say like if you're on top difficulty, you do have to understand the game to like the game of soccer to win. And so like because you have to be able to pass through a defense like on the top, and I did like I've got a lot smarter playing when I played a ton of FIFA. Like having to break down like playing on legendary is really hard. Whereas like
it got hard. Yeah, they don't like if you don't aim or whatever, they'll just kick the ball out of bounds. I get so mad. That's like maybe the most mad I've ever gotten is playing FIFA.
Oh, you can get very. I'll have to like take a break for a couple. Yeah, but no, I'll get deep into. Do you ever play online, Remy? I've never played FIFA online or wanted to.
I haven't because I was like, they would cook me. But I played my brother, and the first time ever he beat me, I literally almost threw the remote up at the TV. I was so mad. I was like, you cheated. You know, I was yelling at him. I was like, that was the first time maybe he's ever beaten me in a video game. I was so mad.
And this was this summer. This was last week.
This year, yeah.
Oh, that's funny. No video games. Not even simple ones, Eli. You don't have like phone games or anything you do like no?
No, I really don't play video games whatsoever. Like when I was young, those games that everybody played, like Jetpack Joyride, and I could play those, but I don't have those currently.
Yeah.
So there's no real games that I play. No.
Too busy.
Never been a video gamer.
You should play Score Hero. I feel like you'd like that. Have you heard of Score Hero on your phone?
No.
It's this game. You play as like it's kind of like the My Player thing on FIFA, where you take your players like through their journey as like through the leagues, and you get promoted.
You know what?
And
I forgot.
You like flick the ball, and it's like through your phone, and you're like flicking it, and it's really hard because it'll be like you have to score 3 goals without missing a pass. And I'm on level I'm like pretty high. I've got promoted to Premier League, and it's actually pretty hard. It's pretty fun.
I do have it, not that game, but I have a game. I did forget. I deleted it because it took a lot of effort. but it was a manager game on my phone. But it was much more in depth than I thought it was going to be.
You
Like
mean Football Manager?
Was it? I think it might have been called that. And
Football Manager is
yes. I was like, oh my god, this.
dense.
Yes, it was very time consuming, and it was. I mean, every single decision a manager could make, they actually have you make, and I'm like, this is too much for my phone. If I was a real manager, okay,
right.
But
I played that a little bit because I love FIFA so much, and I'm aware it's hugely popular, but it's so dense and it's extremely realistic. Like they really like, and they have leagues all the way down to like amateur. But yeah, it's realistic to the point where you're like, well, I'm not actually being paid to be a manager, so I don't want to do actually every job of a manager.
Yeah, and you're managing in the games, and you have to sit there, and you can't skip these games. So you're watching for like 20 minutes and trying to make a little decision. Should this player start inverting? Do I need to, I don't want to do all that. I just want to I just want to manage my team and do the fun basic stuff and then move on.
So didn't you play that one game you got really good at? You had the really high, was that?
Oh, I still have it. I just never play it.
Okay, you got really high level on that. What was it called?
I don't even know. I haven't played in a while.
Oh, no. She's embarrassed about her little sword game.
It's not a sword game. There's no swords in it. It's guns. It's like a shooter.
There you go. I mean, I was looking at a video game I was playing today, and it showed me my time in days, and so that was very blunt of my.
Yeah, you don't want to go down that. My mom plays Candy Crush, and I was like, don't look at how much time you spend on Candy Crush.
Probably not that crazy considering her level.
She's pretty high.
Considering roasted.
No, I just mean like Candy Crush. They want you to pay all that money to level up, and she hasn't spent a cent, and it's at a very high level. So I'm like, I'm impressed.
She must be, so she must be playing.
Yeah.
No, I love that. Well, good. Hey, I always love hanging out with you guys. We have, you obviously have a playoff game coming up on Saturday. It's at home playing Utah United.
Yeah.
Check out Equal Time Socials for an interview with head coach Jen Larrick. And then also we talked to Sage Wimes to get some context on the past weekend's wins going into the playoff semis. It has been a couple years since Aurora has both been this far into the playoffs and also been hosting this far into the playoffs. So very exciting for you all to get the players in there. I did want to remind people we got Equal Time hats in. Guess what? They're union made. We are making no money on these. And $5 from each one goes to Tigers, which is a trans kid athletic and social activity fund to give trans kids social activity and connection and community. And then $5 from each hat also goes to the Immigrant Law Center to help people with free legal help. You don't need me to tell you why that's important right now. So we go to our Blue Sky is the easiest way. Check Matt and my socials. We're going to keep reposting this. You can pick them up for me at the bar at Blackhart, or else you can reach out to us. We'll find a way. But yeah, these are union made. And like I said, zero profit. These are just to spread women's soccer and give a little money to some causes. So thank you, Rap Sisters. And we look forward to watching on Saturday. Do you have, I mean, I guess, not that complicated, but do you want to say anything? I'm sure we have Revantolette members who are going to be doing all the chants. They're going to have their trombones out and doing everything, who help lead all the support. Do you have a message for Revantolette supporters?
Everybody come out to the game. We really want to see as many Aurora fans as possible. Hopefully pack the stadium.
Yeah, they make the difference.
And the Revantolette, I heard they added a new chant. I can't remember what it was because I was playing, but we love when we hear the new chants, and they're doing an awesome job, and we love the drums, and they're awesome.
Yeah, always new ones. I stood by them for a couple of games. That was great. And I'm certain that you all are, like we said to Sage, I asked her today, obviously the focus is on the field, but we know you guys put focus on practicing celebrations too. And I was like, and I asked, can you promise there'll be something? She's like, there'll be something. So that's up to Mariah. And it wasn't like kind of joking, like, oh, who has the aux cord? It was like Mariah is in charge, like it was formal, like the way she said it.
Hey, you don't do a celly without talking to Mariah first.
Just love, of course I've watched her do all these things, and some with like the other colleges she's played for, but I just thought it wasn't like, well, we just like Mariah usually does it. It wasn't like, it was like it's a role, it's written. You're like, you can't. Like, what'd you do? Like, it'd be a fine if you did it. So, but she's done well so far. Really looking forward to seeing what you guys. I mean, it's tough. Can I ask this? How many do you put on deck? Because group ones, you only roll so many deep. Because you can't practice 5 and feel like you'd feel too cocky, right? But like you do often have 2 maybe ready.
We usually have 2, and then if anyone, we score again, and then after that, whoever scores can do kind of what they want.
Solo,
but, most of the time we have 2, because sometimes we just forget. Like sometimes the heat of the moment, like, or if we score or if the other team scores first, we usually don't do a huge celebration like after.
Right.
So it kind of just depends. We usually have 2.
So like the one with Sage, like she didn't do a planned celebration that we had just because it was so late, so we wanted to celebrate, but then lock back in.
Like we had one, but she didn't end up doing it because we were just too hyped that we scored so late.
Yeah, I bet when you're up a couple, it makes more sense where you're like, because it's like doing it if it's like late and you're going up 1-0. It doesn't. The context.
Hold that win
in front of our fans. We will never not celebrate, especially in the playoffs. We would definitely have some planned. I know the fans love it, and we've had some good ones this year.
Yeah. So I really do like that all the coaches have always supported it, because it is like you could get a coach who's like you're in training, after training doing it or something, and they're like, why aren't you just focusing on your shot, or like, and it's like, but it's also a huge part about what makes the experience fun for fans. It's like, I always hated when like people complain like football players are doing the dance, and you're like, well, I had to spend $300 to watch this stupid game. Like, let them practice a dance. Like, I don't care. Like, I want to see them have fun.
And we enjoy it so much, and it gets the fans involved. So
gets people hyped. All right, awesome. Well, yeah, I'll be watching from the Blackhart. If anyone doesn't have tickets or feels like watching from the Blackhart, they certainly can. But yeah, otherwise, get out and watch the RAPP triplets this Saturday out at TCO. I wish you luck. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much.